What up, it's Jeremy here. I'm gonna give you 5 of my top logo design tips that if you apply in your own business and your own designs, it will actually transform the way you do logos. I'm gonna show you 5 tips that I've learned along my journey, but I'm also gonna share some tips that I've learned from Sagig Haviv. He did an episode with Chris Stowe on the Future channel. You can check it out, and he's got some really good tips, and I'm gonna share that with you, but also 5 basic tips that you can use. So number 1, the first thing is a logo has to be memorable. So if someone looks at a logo and they walk away from your website or your business card, or they walk past on the street and they see the logo, can they remember it 30 seconds later? Are they going to remember what the mark looks like? Obviously, over time, like a brand builds, because a brand is a emotional connection with the person. But when they first get a glance, can they tell what it is and can they remember it? If they can't recall it within seconds and minutes, then it just shows that your logo is not memorable. So you need to fix that. And another cool thing that I've learned is what Sagi said, that a logo is for identification, not communication. So it's only to identify something. It's only to be there to identify with a business or a brand or whatever it is. It's only the first impression. That's the key to a logo. Number 2 is a logo has to be appropriate. So there's so many markets in different industries, so you need to design specifically for that client and that industry. I'm not saying to be fully literal in the logo design, but it has to be something that is appropriate for that space. So for example, if you're designing for a law firm, you can't do a logo like Disney where it's like scripty and fun and floral and stuff. That just doesn't make sense. So it's really key that you know who you're designing for, who the target audience is, and what industry you're designing for, so the logo can actually be appropriate for that space, or else it's not gonna really connect with the audience. Number 3, a logo has to be able to scale down. So if you're designing a badge or just an icon or a logo mark or a word mark, whatever, you need to be able to scale down into small sizes. So for a sticker or a pin or whatever, or even on a billboard, or if it's going onto like environmental space on a wall or a building, it has to be able to be flexible. So you can't have a logo that has like heaps of effects, heaps of like gradients, drop shadows and all that stuff. You can use some of that stuff, but if you go overboard, it's gonna be a mess because you can't scale the logo down. So if you simplify it and keep it in a flexible design that you can scale it down, or it can adapt to different sizes, then that's gonna be the key. Number 4 is a logo has to be distinctive. And what I mean by that, it has to be unique, it has to be different. Yes, I know everyone always says that there's no original ideas anymore because everything is just a replication, or it's pretty much they take something and then you transform it into your own perspective in your own way. So at the end of the day, yeah, there might be some marks, a lot of marks out there have already been done, but just focus on the way you see the world and your inspiration, because every client's different and every target audience is different. So a logo is not necessarily always going to be the same unless you like directly copy. Try and make it unique and different, that it differentiates itself from other competitors and the market. Always check, is this logo, have I seen this before, and avoid copying other logos so the logo will stand out from the crowd, because it needs to cut through the noise and stand out from competition, right? Number 5 is being simple. A logo should be simple. It shouldn't be complicated. It doesn't have to be literal or iconic. It can just be a word mark, but whatever type or style of logo it is, it has to be simple, because once again, it has to be memorable. It's got to be scalable. It's got to be distinctive, and it's got to be appropriate. So you've got to incorporate all these things. At the same time, a logo, a brand can have a lot of complexities to it and operations within a business, but the logo is just an identification, so it should be simple. So when people look at it, they can go, oh, okay, I recognize that. It's for recognition and identification. So remember, always that's why I always try and do my logo simple. It doesn't mean a flat design. You can use gradients and colors and stuff. Simple just means, take the complexity and the thoughts and distill it down into a simple idea. And whether you combine multiple elements to create one conjoined element, then that's totally cool, but keep it simple. So those are my 5 top tips for logo design in 2019. Let me know in the comments below if you found these helpful or not, and subscribe for more content and hit that bell button so you get updates on the new content that I'm releasing. every week. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I'll look forward to making another video, and I'll see you next time. Catch you later.